Hi everyone, this is the recording from the webinar that should have happened on Thursday. I do apologise for technical problems that I had. It followed on from the technical problems I had with my car a couple of weeks ago when I should have been with you live, so I do apologise. I seem to be blighted with them at the moment. So hopefully the recording is going to go okay and you're going to be able to watch it okay. And this webinar is called Pricing with Confidence, Charge What You're Worth and Get It. Now, this is it's a presentation that I've been doing for a few years. I've done it all around the UK and I presented it last year at the college as a part of the business skills training, and it went down really well, so I'm hoping that it will do with you as well and that you'll get some real value from it, some real takeaways from it. What I will say is this is aimed at people in business, okay, and I do appreciate that most of you, if not all of you, haven't started your businesses yet, so you need to put yourself in your shoes, in your future shoes from when you've started your business. Okay, so you need to be thinking from the place of the business owner you are going to be. So some of the exercises, some of the questions I'm going to be asking you, you might be saying, well, they're not relevant now because I haven't started yet. This is all about running a business, so you have to put yourself in the shoes of your future self, okay, and answer the questions from that place. Pricing is the biggest issue that business owners have. I've worked with hundreds of people and pricing is one of the biggest issues for people from all sizes of business, all types of industry, all levels of income. Pricing is huge, so you really need to take this seriously and apply it to your situation. So yes, I do know that you haven't started your businesses yet, so you need to put yourself in the place of having started your business and really think about how you're going to feel when you're running your own business, because that's what this is all about. So the exercises, the questions, the comments, the suggestions I'm going to make are all coming from you being business owners, so that's what you need to start thinking as. Okay, so you should have a handout. Hopefully I emailed it to Abby and Abby sent it out. If you haven't printed it off, if you could just bring it up on your computer or on your phone so that you've got it alongside the webinar, that would be great. If you haven't printed it off, you might just want to make some notes on some paper, because I think it's really useful if you fill them in as we go along. Okay, so I want to get you started today by really getting you focused on your pricing, right? So if you take your hand out, we're going to do the first exercise together. Now, it does say at the top why you've joined me today. I know why you've joined me today. This is because this is normally a presentation for the public. I know why you joined me today, and you know why you have, so don't worry about that. The first piece to write down is to answer this question. How do you feel about your fees at the moment? What's the biggest feeling or emotion that you have when you start thinking about having to tell someone what you charge? And remember, you're putting yourself in the place of already having a business. So close your eyes and imagine yourself talking to customers about what you charge. What's the biggest feeling or emotion that comes up for you when you start thinking about that? And I want you to be really honest with yourself. Okay, this is only for you. Nobody else needs to see this. And it might be that you feel embarrassed telling people your fees, especially when you're first getting started. You might be a bit uncertain about what you should be charging. You might feel a bit hesitant telling people. Sometimes you might feel like you want to wait and see what they're going to say first. You might feel a bit confused about what you should be charging, or actually you might feel quite happy about what you're charging and about the prices that you're charging. Or maybe you know that you're kind of happy to get started at a certain level but you want to increase them soon. So, you know, whether you have already started your business or you're still trying to get it off the ground, or you haven't even started at all yet, I want you to write down the number one feeling that comes up when you think about what you charge or what you're going to charge. And whatever you've written down, that's our starting point. So that tells us where you are now. Second piece to write down is what's the biggest problem you have around your pricing. And this is where most people will come out with a load of questions. So you might write down, how do I even know what to charge in the first place? How do I increase my prices? How do I charge new clients more than my starter clients? How do I tell someone my fees have gone up if I quoted them a few months ago? How do I set my prices to create regular income? And you've probably found yourself asking yourself a few of these questions in the build up to starting your business, or when you're thinking about your pricing. So I want you to write down the one that, if you could have the answer to it, would provide you with a real breakthrough in your business. Write down the one that, if you get the answer, it will make you feel really confident and it will have a really big impact for you going forward with your business. And when we know what that question is, that tells you what the practical strategies are that you need to learn. The sort of how-to steps that you need to get your hands on to have your first little breakthrough in your business. So the third piece to write down is the emotion you want to feel, you'd like to feel when you think about or talk about your fees. So imagine if you had the answers you need to that big question that you've just written down, that would really help shift your pricing so it's something that you feel really good about. Imagine what the emotions will be being able to talk about your fees when you're really happy with what you're charging, when you're confident that your prices really reflect the value that you're providing, and when you're charging an amount that you know is going to create a good income for you. So I want you to write down how you'll feel when you get to that point. And you might want to use words like, some examples are confident. People sometimes say they're excited, they're ready for bigger things, they're justified, feel justified, like they've made the right decisions, they feel more secure. Whatever it is, I want you to go ahead and write that down. So that's the number one emotion you'd like to feel about your fees. And that tells us where you want to be. So you might feel like you're miles away from that point at the moment, but it tells us where you want to be. And the last piece I want you to write down is your money why. And this is the reason why you want to get to grips with your pricing and basically create good income. Okay, we're all in this business, we're all in business because we want to make money. I know that we want to help people as well, but at the end of the day, you've started a business because you want to make a certain amount of money. If you don't want to make money, you should have started a charity. We all want to help people, but if your business isn't making money, it's not providing an income for you, then it's not a business. And we do loads of work on your money why in my trainings. But to get you started, it might be so you can move to a bigger house, so you can take your family on an amazing holiday. It might be so you can treat yourself to something special, or to treat somebody else to something special. Maybe it's paying off debts. Maybe it's building yourself a cushion of cash, because to be perfectly honest, for a lot of small business owners, building a cushion of cash is the first real breakthrough for them, because it just helps you relax a little bit. It helps you stop worrying what the next few months are going to bring, and it actually helps you to start enjoy working for yourself. So that's quite often people will just say to me, I just want to be able to replace the money that I was earning in my job. Whatever your money why is, I want you to write it down. And you can have more than one. The key is to make sure it's something you feel emotionally connected to, something that really stirs you deep down, something that, when you think about having it, you get a really good feeling from it, something you feel passionate about. So getting really clear on your own money why is going to motivate you and move you into action, hopefully. So the real point of this little mini workshop is to get you started understanding your own value and really starting to believe it and to own it. So you can get your pricing unstuck and you can really start to work on taking your business to the next level. So here's what we're going to cover during this session. I'm going to cover 4 pricing mistakes that you can easily avoid, what makes most small business owners, and particularly women, undercharge, the one thing you must get in place to be able to successfully increase your fees, the 3 simple steps to increasing your fees with authenticity and integrity. And I'm going to go into as much detail as I can in the time that we've got. And then at the end, and I'll tell you when this is going to happen, just to be completely transparent, I have agreed with Karen and Abby that I will offer a significant saving on my coaching program the next intake is in a few weeks' time. I have promised to offer 50% off to anybody who wants to join us on that program from here. So anybody who's not interested, I will make it clear that the training piece is finished. Anybody who is interested, you just hang on at the end and I'll show you the details of the coaching program. But I just wanted to be upfront with you, let you know that's going to happen. But first of all, I know most of you probably aren't familiar with me, so I'll just give you a quick introduction to me. My name's Emma Haig. I am actually a chartered management accountant by profession, so I trained and qualified in industry. Always worked in the accounts departments of big businesses and worked my way quite happily up the career ladder, supporting all the different departments in businesses. I worked with sales, logistics, warehouse, distribution, customer services, manufacturing. So I got a really broad and quite a deep knowledge of all the different aspects of running a business. And my main role was helping management to budget, to set prices and to manage cash flow. And I plodded on quite happily working for a large pharmaceutical company until 2006 when my first daughter Molly arrived. Fully intended to go back to my job after maternity leave. I enjoyed my job, I loved the company I worked for, but once she arrived, everything changed. I just couldn't do it. I couldn't face returning to a full-time role with an hour-and-a-half commute and putting Molly into nursery. But we had no savings at all. I was the main earner, so we couldn't afford for me to go part-time or to job share, and I decided that trying to go self-employed was my only option. So I set myself up as a self-employed bookkeeper, stroke accountant, printed off some primitive flyers, stuck an advert in the yellow pages, and off I went. And it went okay for a while. I picked up a few clients fairly easily, really enjoyed working where I wanted. I could work around Molly, could work around my husband's shifts at the airport, but cash flow was an absolute nightmare. I was charging by the hour, I was massively undercharging, I was attracting clients who expected too much and who'd make negative comments about what I was charging, clients who'd take weeks or even months to pay me after I'd done the work. You know, I was in constant fear that clients would find a new bookkeeper who was cheaper. I was using my competitors for guidance on what to charge, letting people negotiate my fees. You know, we'd have loads of money 1 month, then nothing at all for 3 months. To cut a long story short, we ended up taking on loads of debt just to get by, and after not quite 2 years, I was lured back into employment. And I have seen this happen so many times to other people. It's such a shame. It's the biggest problem, it's the biggest reason most businesses fail, because the cash flow just doesn't let them carry on. And as soon as it went back to employment, I immediately regretted it. Kicked myself for not making a proper go of self-employment, and I vowed that when the opportunity arose I'd do it again and I'd make it work this time. And that opportunity came in 2009 when I fell pregnant with my second daughter, Daisy. And as soon as I found out I was pregnant, I decided I was going to go self-employed again, and that's what I did. And I did it completely differently this time. I invested in marketing training, I got a coach, got my own procedures in place around money, and most importantly, I learned how to position myself differently to the other accountants in my area by tailoring my marketing to my personality, to my values, to my personal strengths, and to my view of the world. And suddenly I was attracting the right people who were ringing me, telling me they wanted to work with me, without really knowing or caring what my fees were. I was getting people ringing me and they didn't ask the price until, way down the line, because they just wanted to work with me. So I filled my available capacity within about 6 months, and within 18 months my clients were starting to ask how I was doing it with a young family in tow. I had regular income, I was earning pro rata what I'd been earning in employment, but I was working fewer hours, and I just had amazing clients. And so I decided to set up a second business a couple of years ago, a few years ago now, and I now run a coaching and mentoring business alongside the accounts practice. And I mainly help entrepreneurial women create and keep more money in their business. And a really big part of that means being able to take control of your cash flow by charging what you're actually worth. So if there's one big thing I want you to take away today, it's understanding that your time, your expertise and your experiences are incredibly valuable. I mean, in reality, they are actually priceless, and you really need to understand and embrace that yourself. And when I say they're priceless, as a management accountant, I can tell you there is no formula to work out what you should be charging. And we'll talk about this in a little bit more detail shortly. But no business knows a correct price to charge for their product or service. Most businesses will just add up all the costs that it's taken to make the product or service, or provide the service, and add something on to make some profit. And that something, that percentage that they add on, is decided usually by the owners of the business. Okay? There's no book that tells you what you should charge. There's no law that tells you what you should charge or anything like that. There just is no right or wrong. So you need to bear that in mind as we go through this. So let's dive into the 4 pricing mistakes that you can easily avoid. So again, we're going to be looking at that handout I gave you, and we'll fill in those blanks as we go. So the first mistake, and you can fill it in on your handout there, the first mistake is losing control of when you quote your fee. So you can go ahead and fill out number 1, losing control of when you quote your fee or fees. And this is incredibly important. You have to stay in control of when you quote your fee. And I was reminded of this just a couple of weeks ago actually. I went to see some potential clients and we got chatting about all sorts of stuff, and they completely caught me off guard, and everything got a bit sticky for a moment. They asked me about my pricing right in the middle of talking about something completely unrelated to business, and it just totally threw me. There is only one good time to mention your fees, and that's after you've had an in-depth conversation with your client about 5 things, and you might want to jot these down. So the 5 things you need to be discussing with your client before you quote your fees are: number 1, what's the problem they want solving? Number 2, why is it a problem for them? You really want to dive deep into this. You really want to get into the issues this problem's causing them. What's the pain they're experiencing because of this? And you can really, you can sort of extrapolate this out a long way. When you talk about the initial pain, if it's a physical pain or it's an emotional pain, or whatever the problem is that they're experiencing, what are then the results that are happening because of that? And you really want to get them talking in depth, telling you, and people do like to tell you about the problem, so you want to get them really telling you about this problem and all the different pain that it's causing them. Number 3, you want to get clear on what it's costing them. So very often, in fact probably 9 out of 10 times, we can work out a financial cost, even if if it's a physical problem that they've got or an emotional problem that they've got. Usually you can work out what it's costing them financially, whether it's time off work, medications, different equipment that they've got to buy, or there's usually a financial cost that this problem is costing them. So you want to try and write that down, try and get really clear on it while you're talking to them. So it's the financial cost and the personal cost that you want to get clear on. Number 4 is, what are the opportunities that will arise for them once this problem is out of the way? So what are the opportunities that will arise for them once this problem's out of the way? And number 5 is, what is the ultimate outcome or result they're looking for? And it doesn't matter whether your clients are individuals or small business owners or corporate managers, entrepreneurs. If you go through these questions together in a conversation, you're both going to get incredibly clear on their situation and, more importantly, on what it's worth to them to solve it. If you quote a fee before you have this conversation, then you're just guessing what they need and how you can help them. Because as we all know, quite often people will come thinking they need one thing and it actually turns out that they need something else. So you need to have this conversation with people. And it might actually be that you realise you can't help them at all, and it's critical that you realise that early on, rather than get involved in something you're not sure will work or that you don't feel comfortable with, or you need to know early on if you can't help them. But if you quote your fee too early, it puts you in the position of being judged. And let's be honest, that's scary. When you're out on your own in your business trying to create a good impression, nobody wants to be judged, and that's what will happen if you quote your fee too early. You'll be judged to be too expensive or not enough value, or quite often this is the point where potential clients will try to negotiate your fee. If they're not at a place already where they've decided they want what you're offering, they'll very often try to almost create their own sort of package. They'll try to tailor what you're going to do for them to match the fee they've got in mind. But you need to understand that all of your clients, they have a particular problem they want solving. They don't necessarily want the cheapest solution they can find. They just want to hire someone that they're confident can help them get what they want. And you need to show them that the specific package you offer will solve their problem before you talk about the investment. Otherwise, they'll try to put together their own solution from what they think you can do for them. And in the end, that serves no one. So the tip here is, value is perceived by your clients, pricing is perceived by you. In other words, you decide the price you're going to charge, and your client decides whether they want to invest that or not. Your client decides on the value. So it's up to you to help your clients get really clear on the value to them of the solution you provide. And if they decide that they're not prepared to pay the amount that you've offered, then that's fine. But as long as you've done your job in explaining to them the results they're going to get and exactly the package that you offer, then that's the decision they have to make. So what do you say when someone asks what you charge? Now, the key here is to be really patient and be brave and have the confidence to wait for that question. You really do need to wait for them to ask you what you charge, because it's only at that point that they potentially want to work with you. Because if you're not a good fit for each other at all, the conversation probably won't get that far. And it might be that you've decided you don't want to work with this person, so you kind of end up redirecting the conversation or finding a way to end it early or suggesting something else, and that's fine, because you need to be picky about who you work with, and you don't want clients who aren't really sure whether they want to work with you. But the clients that you are a good fit for, the ones who like you and that you like, and the ones who like the sound of what you can do for them, they will ask you what you charge, and they'll probably ask you early on. And they might well ask you before you're ready to tell them. Remember, you need to wait till you've covered those 5 questions that we mentioned earlier. So what do you say if they ask you too soon? What do you say if they ask what you charge before you've been through all these questions with them? Well, I'll tell you the wording I use in a minute, but it's important to note here, this has got a lot to do with your own energy at this point. It's about how you come across. You need to stay calm, you need to stay positive and enthusiastic and confident. You don't start looking at the ground or shuffling through your papers or looking out the window or thinking of some kind of distraction. They need to know that you believe you can help them. So you need to answer them in a way that feels generous to them, like you're happy to answer them. We don't want them to feel awkward or embarrassed for asking, because it's a good thing. If they're asking what you charge, it means they want to work with you. Now, when people ask what I charge, and they ask me too soon, if they ask me before I'm ready to tell them, I say, well, that depends. I need to know what you need first and whether I can help you or not, because if I can't, it won't cost you anything at all. Do you mind if I ask you a few questions first? And nobody's ever said, yes, I do mind. Don't ask me any questions, just tell me what you charge. Okay? And if they did, to be honest, they're not my ideal client, and I would go as far as to say they're probably not your ideal client either, because if people are shopping on price, that's a good indicator they're not going to be a particularly great client to work with. So let's move on to the second big pricing mistake, and that's doubting your fees. If you doubt your fees, then you're probably focusing on the features of the service you provide, rather than the benefits or the results that clients get from working with you. And a quick way you can work out whether you're too focused on the features of your service is if you tend to go into great detail describing your processes and describing how you work. And this is a really big turn off for potential clients, because until they've decided they really want to work with you, all the thinking is, well, how is any of this going to help me? And when you talk about processes and features, it doesn't answer that question for them. But if you switch your focus to the benefits they're going to get from working with you, if you switch your focus to the end result or the transformation they're going to get from working with you, you shift the focus away from the nuts and bolts, from the number of hours it's going to take or the number of consultations you'll provide, for example. The things in themselves don't have much value for someone. And you'll put your focus onto what's actually meaningful for your potential client, which is what is the change that's going to happen for them and what are the results of that change. Clients aren't interested in the letters you've got after your name, the number of years you've been in business, the number of clients you've had. None of that tells them how you're going to help them. You need to focus on the results that are going to happen for them as a result of working with you. So the third pricing mistake is apologising, over-explaining or justifying your fee. Now, from experience, I can tell you this often happens in conjunction with pricing mistake number 1, quoting your fees too soon. But it also tends to show up the moment after you quote your fee if you're feeling doubtful or guilty for charging someone, or if you're just not confident they're going to say yes. It is very tempting to go straight into an explanation of your fees and why your fee is different to the next person or whatever. But it's absolutely crucial that you don't do that. And the only way I've found to combat that, if this is you, is to literally force yourself to say nothing. You state your price, you state the cost of your package, and then you just force your lips shut with a smile and count to 30. It's the easiest thing to do, to stop talking and sit back while your client then deals with whatever's coming up for them. Let them lead the conversation from there. That's the easiest thing to do. If they come up with objections, then you need to deal with the objections. If they have questions, then you answer the questions. But they need to be the first person to speak after you've quoted your price. The fourth pricing mistake is charging by the hour or session instead of creating packages. Now, I can already hear the objections, and I'm not even in the same room as you, but this, every single client I've ever had has objected to this, particularly anybody in any kind of healing or therapy or anything like that. But pricing by the hour or pricing by the session, if you're doing that, you're causing yourself problems you do not need to have. There are two major problems that pricing by the hour or pricing by the session causes. The first problem is there's potential for clients to compare your hourly rate to someone else's. Okay, even though your expertise is different, your knowledge is different, your experience is probably very different, your qualifications might be different, your potential client doesn't know that. They're very unlikely to start asking those kind of questions. They will just make a judgment and compare your hourly rate to the next person's hourly rate without really knowing what they're comparing. And quite often they're not comparing apples to apples, but they don't know that. The second problem that hourly pricing causes is there's potential for clients to question the number of hours or sessions it takes you, or it's going to take you, to complete the service you're providing for them. And both of these can lead to you feeling like you've got to justify what you're charging, or even revising your charges down if somebody challenges you. Whereas creating a fixed price package and agreeing the pricing in advance completely eliminates this problem, and it also makes your cash flow easier to forecast. And in addition, there will come a time, if you want to grow your business, when you want to add team members to your business. Even if you work on your own at the moment, there'll come a time when you need to take on a bookkeeper or accountant or a virtual assistant. If you're charging by the hour, that becomes nigh on impossible because you're only covering your own time. Plus, there are only so many hours in a day, so you're automatically putting a ceiling on what you're going to be able to earn. When you base your business model on packages, you focus on the change you want to achieve for your clients and on the results of that change. And you're educating your clients to focus on what they want rather than how much they're paying for an hour of your time, which isn't really relevant. The whole point is they want you to help them solve a problem. It shouldn't matter how many hours that's going to take. It's whether they can help you solve the problem or not. Whether you can help them solve the problem or not. And what's really good about packages is you can create big ones, real premium packages. You can have little ones. You can mix and match them. You can have one standard one that then you just tweak for people. If you offer a service where there's little, there's some things that need to be bespoke to each person, you have a standard package, but then you can just add or take away little bits as you need to. Or you can just decide that you're just going to standardize what you have, standardize what you offer, and just base everything on one package. It's entirely up to you. You just have to be very careful that you don't try to overcompensate for just having one offering by over-delivering. That's very common when people start creating packages that they charge for, because they're generally charging more than they were before. They start to, trying to squeeze lots of things into this package to try and make it more valuable. But if you try and squeeze too much in, you're going to overwhelm your client. They might not have time to fit everything in that you want them to do, and they actually won't get the results that they want or that you want. So over-delivering will just overwhelm your clients and overwork you. So let's move on to look at why most entrepreneurs undercharge, most small businesses undercharge. Most small business owners undercharge because of comparison. So you might want to write that on your handout. When anyone starts out in business and needs to know how to set the fees, they look around to see what everybody else is charging. Or maybe they look at what their own trainer or the coach or mentor's charging, the person who taught them the craft. Whether it's therapy or coaching or design or accountancy, whatever it is. Now, this is not a good idea, and I'll tell you why. The vast majority of people who have their own business undercharge. So if they're undercharging and you're looking to them as an example to base your fees on, then you're going to undercharge as well. What's worse is, because you see they've been in business longer than you, they've had more clients than you, they've got more testimonials than you, because of all that, you set your fees lower than theirs. Or maybe you swing the other way slightly and you think, well, I've got a qualification they don't have, and I've created a better website than them, so I'll charge a bit more than them. But you're still undercharging because you've started from a low base. Now, interestingly, there are a number of industries where they will tell you, as an accountant, I know when I first started out, I was told a minimum that I had to charge. And the reason is, if you undervalue your services, you're undervaluing the services of your professional body. So, any professional bodies that you are a part of will want potential clients to know that because you're a member of that body, they can expect a really good service. You've done all the I've forgotten the name of the CPD, that's what I'm trying to say. They'll know that you've done all the continual professional development you need to do, that you've got all the insurances. That's what your professional body wants people to know, wants potential clients to know. And you undervaluing yourself actually undervalues that qualification or that membership. So you need to bear that in mind, because they won't be happy either if you undervalue yourself. Second reason most business owners undercharge, small business owners undercharge, is fear. And it's usually a fear of not getting any business. So this is you if you say, if I charge any more, I won't be able to get any clients, or my clients won't pay more. I hear this all the time. But low fees do not necessarily mean you're going to get more clients. In fact, very often the opposite is true. Because there are a lot of people who do look at pricing and say, why is that person so much cheaper than everybody else? I'm not sure if I want to go with them. So here's a really good strategy that works brilliantly. Instead of lowering your fees to get more clients, you can create a smaller package that's more limited in scope than your main offer, but that gives potential clients a lower entry point to experience working with you. So you're still charging a decent amount, but for a smaller offering. So the investment isn't so high that people need to stop and think about it. So they don't have to consult the partner, for example, or, for corporate clients, they don't have to get authority from a higher level manager, say. You're just offering them a more limited package at a lower investment. Third reason small business owners undercharge is a fear of what people think. And women in particular struggle with this. There's just something in a woman's nature that, generally speaking, means we want to be liked. We want to please people. We don't like to think that others might be thinking badly of us. And it's incredibly common for a woman to be held back because of concern about what someone else might think, whether it's a partner or a colleague or a current client or competitors. And this is a real problem, and it can be one that's genuinely difficult to get past for some people. But at the end of the day, you have to A, recognise it for what it is, and B, make a decision. So are you going to accept it and let that fear govern how your business pans out? Or are you going to address that fear so you can free yourself to charge what you're really worth and earn more money? I know which I'd choose, but that's something only you can decide, and it is a decision that you have to make. So let's move on to the most important element you must have in place to guarantee success when raising your fees. And when I say when raising your fees, I also mean if you're going to switch to packages, which is something, as I say, I recommend that you all do. Usually, switching to a package, people are going to be paying out more upfront normally than when you're charging by the hour. And what you must understand to do that, what you must have in place is you must understand your own worth. I don't care who you are or who your clients are, whether it's individuals, small businesses, large corporations. I guarantee there will come a time when someone wants you to discount your services. where someone wants you to give a lot more than they're paying for, or they start to cross boundaries, take more of your time than they should be. And any number of these can happen, and they do happen when you work for yourself. The very first step in dealing with all of these is understanding your own worth, so you can stand firm with your pricing and not take it personally. And this is something we cover in a lot more detail in the training that I'm going to talk about shortly. But if you're going to do this on your own, you really need to get a system in place for dealing with these kind of obstacles, because they really can throw you off course. I find that having a conversation template, like a step-by-step conversation template, really helps you stay on track when these things come up. So you can remind yourself of the things that we're covering today and really stay in control and make sure the conversation goes the way you want it to. So have some notes by your desk, because quite often these things happen by telephone. Or carry notes with you. You need to have something to remind yourself, to follow, so that you don't fall into the trap of letting people try to talk you down, try to get you to discount them, try to negotiate extras or whatever. You need to be able to stand in your power with your pricing and stand your ground. Because once you've done it once, it's a downward spiral. So you need to stay in control of this. So, moving on to 3 steps to raising your fees with authenticity and integrity. So this is kind of 3 mindset shifts, really, to raising your fees with authenticity and integrity. There are 3 reasons, really, it's important to charge what you're worth. And this generally, when I'm working with people, means increasing your fees. Okay, and there are 3 things you need to understand to be able to raise your fees confidently, or to be able to charge what you're worth, really. There's a psychology to this. So if you have a look at the diagram on the handout, that circular diagram, you'll see right at the top is the word credibility. So think about it. When you undercharge for your services, when you charge less than your competitor for your services, what is it exactly that you're telling people? You're telling people that you don't really believe in what you do. You're telling people that you don't believe that you're as good as the next person. For whatever reason, you're telling people you're not as good as the next person at what you do. And it really is true that people value what they pay more for. So you have to have credibility, and one of the ways to do that is to make sure you're charging what you're worth, not undercharging and charging less than everybody else. The next piece of psychology for raising your fees is confidence. Now, confidence is critical, because without it you are vulnerable to discounting, you're vulnerable to over-delivering, to putting too much into packages, and to deciding on behalf of others what they can and can't afford. And the first time you quote your new fees, you will experience some emotions. You might get excited, you'll probably be nervous or embarrassed, but deep down you're going to know that what you're charging is worth every penny, because you're owning what you're worth. You've got to have confidence. And how do you create confidence? By having a system to replace those limiting beliefs you've got about your pricing that might be holding you back. You need to replace them with empowering, authentic beliefs that really reflect who you are, that reflect what you want to achieve and how you feel about your business and what you can do for people. And, confidence, this is why we have a circular diagram here. When you raise your credibility, that automatically increases your confidence. Okay, because that's when you feel more credible, you feel automatically more confident. And you feel more confident when you learn how to understand your own worth, so you can stop feeling scared about money and start to raise your fees. And then the 3rd step here in this cycle is cash flow. As your cash flow increases, your credibility and your confidence increase. So it's a circle. It's a cycle. It's an ever increasing cycle once you get going on this. So as you increase your cash flow, because you've increased your fees, you increase your credibility, you increase your confidence, and that all feeds back in. So then your cash flow increases, your credibility increases, your confidence increases. It's an ongoing cycle. So charging more than you do now and repositioning your offers creates more money in your bank account, and that money is usually mostly profit if you're a service business. So increasing your cash flow is a really good start to this. It's a really good start to getting going with this cycle. And some of the quickest ways I've found to increase your cash flow are, first of all, stop charging by the hour and replace that strategy with one of offering packages that people pay you monthly for or pay you up front for. Secondly, you can, sit down and brainstorm some really quick wins. Think about some ways you could offer something to a current client or a past client as a one-off that would really help them out and would provide you with a quick injection of cash. Really, really good way of increasing your cash flow is to create fortnightly money goals, and we do this in my Money Breakthrough training. You come up with a fortnightly money goal. So think about what, some extra money that you want to bring every fortnight, then break them down into even smaller, really doable chunks that you can achieve in some way. And, if you're just getting started, if cash flow is a bit of a problem and, you really need to get some money coming in quickly, don't just be thinking about your business. Think about other ways you can bring money in, because the impact that it has when you start getting cash in is incredible. It impacts all areas of your life. So you need to get money coming in if you haven't got anything coming in at the moment. If that means putting old items on eBay, or having a mini sale on your website, or going through your outgoings and changing to some companies that will offer cash back. Fortnightly money goals play a really big part in my coaching, because once you start to attract money from whatever source it happens to come, is just amazing. And that's a topic for a different talk, really, but it's something that you really could do to focus on in the next week or so, is just getting money in any way you can to start raising your confidence and start raising your start getting the cash flowing in your life and in your business. So again, I suppose the biggest thing I want you to take away from today is understanding that if you're a woman in business, the success of your business is about a lot more than just the mechanics. Okay, so it's about a lot more than the traditional things that we learn in business. So, what kind of business structure to have, and what kind of bank account to have, and the sort of the technical side of your skills and the qualifications that you think you need to have, and the insurance and all those kinds of things. And it's even more important than marketing. I did so much training on marketing funnels and Facebook ads and Google ads and website creation and search engine optimization, all those other things that we spend so much time learning how to do. If you don't have the confidence to charge what you're worth, and to actually go out and speak to people and ask them for money and chase people for money, none of that's going to make a blind bit of difference. Because if you can't get the cash coming in, if you can't get regular recurring cash coming in, you're going to run out of cash, and that means you're going to be scuppered. So this is an incredibly important topic. It's something that you need to master if you want to make a success of your business. Right, so what I'm going to do now is, if I can just find the right slide, I'm going to move on to speaking about the coaching program that I've got coming up. So those of you who aren't interested at all in the coaching, absolutely no problem at all. I won't be offended. You can just stop listening. Those of you who are interested in taking this forward and are interested in taking the 50% saving that I've spoken to Karen Nabby about, I've tagged a kind of sales presentation onto the end here. So it is a bit salesy. It is a bit, it's tailored for members of the public. So I'm just going to run through it as it is. If you are interested, there is a link at the end to book a conversation with me. If you're not, doesn't matter. But what you will see if you watch the presentation is you'll see how the pricing bit fits into my system. So if you are looking for some kind of roadmap to build your own business from, it might be worth just watching to see the steps that I take people through, so you can work out your own way to go through it if you want to do that on your own. Okay, so I'm being asked every day by entrepreneurs just like you who want to make more money and create even more amazing results for their clients for two things to help them grow their businesses. Number one, to teach them how to move away from roller coaster cash flow syndrome. These are the strategies that will take you from that paralysing place of living hand to mouth each month to being able to confidently plan your year and predict your income. Number two, I'm asked to show them how to create amazing results for their clients so you can build your confidence, become known as the go-to expert in your area and charge what you're really worth. This is how to realistically achieve those money goals you dreamed of when you first started your business. And I want to show you how you can get me personally training you to become the amazing business owner you truly want to be through practical, step-by-step, profit-generating systems so you can make more money changing people's lives. So the Ignite Money Marketing and Soul program is for you if you're a coach, consultant, author, speaker, healer, practitioner, specialist or change agent. If you want to add more clients, re-engage current clients and make more money changing people's lives without burning the candle at both ends. If you love saving time by getting proven step-by-step business-in-a-box type content made up of exercises, worksheets, templates, scripts, examples and visualizations that we'll walk through together, transforming your business as we go. The Ignite Money Marketing and Soul program is 6 plug-and-play content modules, each complete with exercises, worksheets, templates and more that we work through together, and you then take and plug straight into your business to begin your money story transformation. The Ignite Money Marketing and Soul program is specifically designed to suit businesses with all types of clients, whether you work with small businesses, entrepreneurs, individual employees or large corporations. It's designed for someone who's just starting the business or who already has an established business, or for someone who wants to increase the success of their business. Tracking shows that over 90% of graduates who put these money marketing and soul strategies and techniques to use in their business make back their training investment. Many of them reach this goal within 90 days or less, and many 6- and 7-figure coaches and entrepreneurs around the world can thank these exact systems for their success. What's fascinating about these women is that many of them were already used to helping their clients transform their lives, but just hadn't been able to work out how to get the results they really wanted in their business. So how did they turn things round? They simply recognised that it's easier to train, coach, advise or mentor someone else to get great results than it is to do the same for yourself. And that you don't need to be perfect in your business or your personal life. You don't need to be making more money or experiencing better results than your clients, and you don't need to be an online expert. You don't have to have everything figured out yourself to serve people at the highest level and to charge what you're really worth. And here's why. One of the first benefits of training under the Ignite Money Marketing and Soul program is you'll immediately begin creating your own business and personal breakthroughs, giving you the authenticity and experience to confidently train, coach and mentor others. In just a minute, I'll walk you through what these 6 exciting content modules are that we'll work through together and you'll put to work in your own business to profit from. Training takes place over 12 weeks and all content's delivered via my dedicated course platform. Each fortnight we'll have a group coaching call where I'll walk you through the practical step-by-step how-tos of building your business, followed by hot seats the next week to apply the training to your specific business, deepen your understanding and supercharge your confidence. So quite often I hear, Emma, I'm worried I might not have time to do the work. The Ignite programme is specifically structured to avoid overwhelm and provide support and accountability. Time management and focus are key to success, and you'll receive tools to help with these too. Tracking shows 90% of graduates who implement the strategies and techniques you'll learn with the Money Marketing and Soul coaching method receive a complete return on investment. Most of my graduates will receive a complete return on investment with as few as 1 or 2 clients, and often within the first few weeks of starting the training. You get training in all 6 modules of the Money Marketing and Soul profit building content, hand-holding guidance and support to walk you through the step-by-step exercises, worksheets, checklists, visualizations, templates, examples and more, complete Money Marketing and Soul best business practices toolkit, including practical and proven money management systems to help you organise and run your business, and a money breakthrough method training to get you started making back your investment right away. With this complete training and support program, you can begin charging what you're really worth within the first few weeks of the training starting, or even sooner. This training is for you if you want to add new clients, re-engage current clients and make more money changing people's lives without burning the candle at both ends. What's really exciting is you can use the training to transform the results of your current business, use the training to start a brand new business, or use the training time and time again for any future business ideas you may have. So a quick run through of the modules we'll be covering. Training module number 1 is branding with archetypes. Branding with archetypes is the branding module which will capture your spirit, personality and passion into an authentic brand promise you can use in all your marketing. Create the overview of your business you've been missing. You'll love the template I coach you through in this module. And will confidently choose your website design and images, write attention-getting emails, sales copy and marketing material, even if you're not a writer. We'll identify your unique brilliance and use it as a powerful catalyst for focusing your gifts and talents on your most profitable actions. And you can use your brand archetype to immediately begin growing your business. Training module number 2 is niche breakthrough secrets. In this module, we'll pinpoint your most lucrative niche, that's the people you love working with and who'll pay you what you're really worth. You can reinvent your business without discarding what's working or starting from scratch. And you can quickly eliminate any emotional blocks you might have to choosing your perfect niche. This is a simple mindset shift that will give you permission to confidently surge ahead in all areas of your business. We'll determine if your niche is hot or not, and we'll create your authentic marketing message, and you'll love the template I coach you through that teases out the right words for you to use. Training module number 3 is your signature system. In this module, we'll quickly transform that thing you do into an exciting step-by-step signature system that's easy to market and enroll new clients into. We'll eliminate that "what do I offer" overwhelm, clarifying your most profitable path to cash, and we'll organise your services to create a signature line of packages, programs, courses and more, taking clients through the steps of your signature system. We'll get your knowledge organised into step-by-step chapters for the book you want to write, if you want to do that, and will position yourself as a valued expert in the eyes of your ideal clients. Training module number 4 is profit pyramids. In this module, you'll learn how to stop giving away all your time on your least income-producing activities. We'll easily organise your ideas into a simple, streamlined flow of offers so you can plan your year and predict your income. We'll learn which price point in your profit pyramid you should focus on first, and will confidently choose which ideas to implement first, next, and so on, so you make more money quickly. You'll learn the secret to creatively adding new income streams with minimal effort, and how to stack your offers so one leads naturally to another, creating a cascade of cash flow month after month. Training module number 5 is packages that sell themselves. In this module, you'll learn how to shift out of the trading hours for money module and into the mindset of owning your own value. You'll learn step by step how to create packages based on results instead of process or time. And you'll learn how to stop overloading your packages, saving you tons of time and energy. You'll be able to trim the number of days worked each month, freeing your time and increasing your energy and your happiness. And you'll be able to re-energise your offers with packages that are client attractive, highly appealing and practically sell themselves. Training module number 6, how to charge what you're worth and get it. You'll learn a powerful exercise that immediately gives you a fresh perspective on the value of your offerings and will transform doubt about what to charge into authentic confidence. You'll learn what to say when clients ask how much do you charge. You'll learn how to easily solve the problem of what to charge for each of your services, programs, products or packages. You'll learn how to create your personalised pricing mindset for unshakable confidence and belief in charging higher fees. You'll learn how to quickly determine what to charge to create value without over-delivering or creating overwhelm, and how to create authentic and respectful boundaries so you experience fewer problems such as over-delivering, undercharging or late client payments. Plus, you get these generous bonuses. Bonus number 1 is Money Breakthrough Method training. We'll have one private Kickstart Money Breakthrough Method coaching session to get you off to a flying start, making back your investment in the training. Bonus number 2 is an exclusive set of Branding with Archetypes cards. These are only available to my Ignite coaching clients. These are gorgeous glossy cards that will give you all the words you need to communicate your unique, authentic brand to your ideal clients when we've worked out what your archetypes are. Bonus number 3 is Money Marketing and Soul Coaching. We'll create unstoppable motivation and commitment to reaching your goals. You can use this done-for-you content over and over again for months and years to come. The value of this training will keep giving you a return on investment this year, next year and for years to come. To recap, you get training in all 6 modules of the Money Marketing and Soul profit building content, hand-holding guidance and support to walk you through the step-by-step exercises, worksheets, checklists, visualizations, templates, examples and more. Complete Money Marketing and Soul Best Practices Toolkit, including practical and proven money management systems to help you organise and run your business. And a bonus Money Breakthrough Method training session to get you started making back your investment right away. Plus, you'll receive these bonuses. Money Breakthrough Method one-on-one coaching session, exclusive Branding with Archetypes card set, and Money Marketing and Soul coaching for unstoppable confidence. Here are some examples of the many ways the packages you create during the Ignite coaching program will help you create an immediate return on investment. You can offer your new package as an additional service to your current clients. You can offer a new package to past clients to re-engage them. You can use the content from your new package as a bonus for new clients. You can grow your list faster and easier by creating a signature talk from your new package content. You can use content from your new package as a pay-in-full incentive for new clients. You can include your new package content in your next live or virtual workshop. You can create VIP days and half days. You can include content from your new packages in teleseminars, telesummits or interviews. Create high-end client retreats, create group programs, create free and low-cost lead generation products from your new package content, and you can use what you've learned to make more money and better support your clients. When you compare the reasonable investment in this training to the wealth of done-for-you worksheets, scripts, templates and checklists, and the in-depth coaching you'll receive along with unrivaled accountability and support, this really is a no-brainer. Because the investment is so reasonable, if you do the work and follow the instructions you're given, there is virtually no way you can lose. So you might be saying, Emma, this sounds so exciting, but what's the investment and how do I get in? Well, here are the answers to your questions. Admissions by conversation only. This is so I can answer all your questions and make sure Ignite is a really good fit for you. And I have a special reason for you to act now. You can secure a full 50% saving off the training. To get the saving, simply go to www.emmahaig.com/121 and book a total business clarity session with me before the 12th of May cut-off. Please be assured by booking a chat with me there is no risk, no obligation and you will not be sold to. I promise our time talking privately together is an honest, exciting talk about you and what's possible for your business. I'll answer all your questions and will be completely transparent about what the investment is. I only have a limited number of places in these coaching groups available each year, and for this low investment, this opportunity is not to be missed. Remember, as few as 1 or 2 new clients will enable you to receive a complete return on your investment in this programme. In our conversation together, you can count on me to be fully transparent about whether Ignite is right for you. I am 100% truly sincere in wanting to see if Ignite is a good fit for you and your business. You'll complete this conversation feeling assured of exactly what you want to do. Next step is easy. Simply go now to www.emmahaig.com/121 and book your Total Business Clarity conversation now. Thank you very much for your time, and I hope to see you again very soon.